Hello everyone, welcome to this session on cybersecurity. Today we are going to discuss botnets. So this is one of the techniques used to conduct cyber attacks or cyber crimes. So botnet means it's a collection of bots. And what is a bot means it's an automated program for performing a certain task. And a bot is always connected to the network. Okay. And botnets are generally used to perform malicious activities by spreading virus and other kinds of malware. Okay, and they are used to perform DOS attacks, denial of service attacks, or an extension to that distributed denial of service attacks. So we already know that DOS affects the availability property of a system. Okay, and this is the life cycle of a botnet. So you have the person who controls the botnet. He is also the person is also called botmaster. Okay, so how does the life cycle work is? So first step is infection. So a botnet requires a collection of bots. So how these bots come into a network is, first of all, this botmaster will try to infect systems with malware. For example, you can see here uh, the botmaster will spread the malware by using spam emails or by infecting other websites which the target, I mean the bots, the person who is using the machine visits the third party website, and by using social media posts. These are not the only ways using which malware can be distributed. Of course, there are other ways, but these are the frequently used ways. Okay, so once the malware is distributed and the target system gets infected, then it becomes a bot. Okay, are also called zombie, are also called slave. So the infected machines are called as bots or zombies or slave machines. So then the second step is the infected machine contacts the CNC server, also called as command and control server, which is maintained by the bot master. Okay, so the bot master will log into the command and control server, and there he can see how many bots are there in the network. And also the bot master uses this server to send instructions to the bots in the botnet. Okay, so you can see the third step is controlling the bots in the botnet. So the bot master will be sending command to attack a target or manage the bots in the botnet and so on. And the next step is multiplication. Of course, the more number of bots in the network, the attack can be that much prominent. Okay, so more bots, it is more useful for the bot master. So this cycle repeats. The malware is spread and some other machines get infected. They report to the command and control server, and the commands are given, and again the cycle repeats. So this is how a botnet works. So again the definition, botnet is a network of computers infected with malicious programs that allows cyber criminals or attackers to control the infected machines remotely without users' knowledge. Okay, so most of the time the users who are using the machines that act as bots, they don't know that their machine is a bot in a botnet. Okay, right. And now I would like to discuss about a very peculiar or special case of this botnet. So it is called Mirai botnet. Okay, and this is the first botnet which used IoT devices to act as bots. I think most of you have heard what is IoT and what are IoT devices. So the life cycle or the process of this Mirai botnet is like this. So there are IoT devices in the network. Okay, and the first step is these bots which are already in the botnet will send signals or commands, or you can say attacks, to new IoT devices. So these are IoT devices like CC cameras, smart ACs, smart refrigerators, anything that are connected to the internet. And the next step is once they search for the IoT devices and they are successful in exploiting this device, then the bots will send message to the report server, which is maintained by the bot master. So bot master will be in charge of this command and control center. So sorry, it's a command and control server. So the second step is notification of the new victim bot to report server, which will be accessed by the bot master. Okay, and next, after this new victim is found, new IoT device is found, the report server will forward a message to another server called load server, which contains the malware to be installed onto the newly found victim. So the load server will dump this malware onto the new IoT device. Okay, now the malware is running on the new IoT device and it becomes a part of the botnet. Okay, and then the bot master through their command and control server, they will send commands to this bots in the botnet, and at the same time they can also check the status by contacting the report server, how many bots are there in the network, etc. And then they can issue commands to the botnet to attack a target. Okay, it can be any organization or a server or company server, anything like that. So that is the thing, and this process continues. So the bots in the botnet communicates with the command and control server, which communicates with the bot master. Okay, so the special case of this Mirai botnet is for bots. It is using IoT devices. Okay, this is the first case in the history that IoT devices are used as bots in the botnet. So let's see some more details about this Mirai botnet. So this Mirai botnet took advantage of insecure IoT devices. Okay, in a simple but clever way. And what did this Mirai do is it scanned the internet. Okay, it scanned the internet for open telnet ports. So telnet is a kind of service which is there on our computers also. It will be there on the IoT devices also. I think the port number for telnet is 23. And if the telnet port is there, what did the software do is it attempted to log in default passwords. I think it has a combination of around 64 passwords. Okay, hard coded. So it checked the default passwords. So if the password is matched, that means a new IoT device is found. Victim IoT device is found. Okay, so in this way, the bot master is able to amass a large botnet army. And the creator of this Mirai botnet is Paras Jha. Okay, so he is an undergraduate student at Rutgers and who became interested in how DDoS attacks could be used for profit. So he is kind of thinking in a bad way how to um, use how to make profit from the DDoS attacks. So actually, Parasja has conducted DDoS attacks against his own university servers, and he was offering a service to them to hire him for mitigating those DDoS attacks, which this person is performing them. Okay. Mm, uh, right. And so you can see Mirai was created by Paras Jha and his friends. Okay. So the first attack which was conducted by using Mirai botnet is on September 19, 2016, and those attacks were against a service provider which is located in French, and the service provider name is OVH. Okay, it seems that these people hosted Minecraft. These people provided services used by Minecraft servers. Minecraft is a game, so you can check the details. And after a few days, Anna Senpai. So Anna Senpai is the alias name of Paras Jha. So he is a Japanese. I think his alias name is Anna Senpai, and he posted the code of the Mirai botnet online. So he made the code online. So lot of people downloaded the code and they developed their own versions of this botnet. Okay, and another group from Russia, they modified the code of Mirai, and on October 12th they launched an attack on a service host called Dyn. And this Dyn provides DNS services for a lot of big websites, including Facebook and all these companies. And the FBI believes that this attack was performed to target Microsoft's game servers. Okay, so that's about the Mirai botnet, a very unique one, and that's it about botnets. Thank you.